Last of Us was probably one of those games. But by the time we got The Last of Us 2, we had this idiot in place. His name was Neil Druckmann, and he tried to take down YouTubers who were going to be and had been and were a little critical of his game and its story and everything else. That's because they got rid of one of the better writers who had been responsible for, very successful games, like the wannabe Indiana Jones series that I always forget the name of. But there that I have all the games. I don't remember the name, but regardless, this particular game, um, Last of Us Part 3, might not actually happen. Loki, they spent time in development on this. How long have we been talking about Last of Us Part 3? It's been a minute, right?
It's been a minute. Oh yeah.
And Neil saying Naughty Dog shifted focus to Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet.
I
Have
let
you
them. That
have you
game's
seen?
gonna bomb.
I know it's gonna bomb hard. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at who your hero antagonist is. That Oh yeah. I've seen it. I'm not. I'm pretty much done with Naughty Dog.
Yeah, because
They'll never get another penny after Abby Smash. So
yeah, and that leak was pretty gross, right?
right. And I remember a bunch of our good friends like RK,
Yeah,
Ryan Kennel,
yeah,
and a bunch of our good friends getting struck and getting their channels threatened because they came out with true stories. They were coming out, they didn't show any video. There's
yeah,
some of them didn't even show any pictures. All they did was talk about it, and they were getting hit with
yep,
what the DMCA takedowns.
yep.
It's just there's no reason for any of that. That's all that was Naughty Dog abusing the system to try and silence people, putting the warning out. They didn't want anybody warned what they were going to do, and what they were going to do was sick and disgusting.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and again, I mean, lots of funny memes came out about it, and they even tried to DMCA claim the meme. Like, you can't do that, dude. But regardless, Last of Us Part 3 may not come out. They're putting their identity politics in full effect, in full force into this intergalactic the heretic prophet, which now I actually know the entire story of this game because that released too. The whole story for it's released. There's there's no going back here, kids. You make trash games now. And the speculation about whether or not this was going to happen had been out there, but we'd seen that it was on the development path, and fans were hoping for official confirmation. But in a recent Variety interview, Neil Druckmann says that it's may not necessarily happen, and it raises questions about the series' long-term viability. It doesn't have any.
no, no, not after Abby Smash.
Yeah. So Druckmann's words were simple but telling. Don't bet on there being more of Last of Us. I won't. The series is terrible. The show is terrible. The series of games now, terrible. First game, good. Second
I
game,
loved that
ruined.
first game, man. I
It
loved
ruined.
that first game so much.
But Loki, that second game ruined not just itself, but the first game.
It did. I haven't been able to go back and play it. I can't play any of the remasters. I can't go back and play it. I remember playing that first scene, just getting sucked into that when he's with his kid and he's with his family, and then everything that happens right after that, and the chase, and then him waking up and it being, years later, and how good, man, how really just good and tight that story felt. And then look what they did. They just flushed all the goodwill and all the love and all the care down the toilet so they could make Abby Smash.
Well, and that's the problem, right? The franchise is mired in controversy. This is a great sub headline. Of course, this is written by Marvin, but The Last of Us was widely celebrated. It was a grown up game. We loved it. And then they came out with part two, which alienated a significant portion of the audience. No, it was more than, it was like 65-70% of the audience was like, I'm out on this. And
Because they
that's,
love that character. They followed that character through the whole first game. I'm
yeah,
sorry, but you don't make a political and a moral stand against the character that you loved in that first game. You don't come out and you don't do that. If you do, You have to be very, very careful how you do it. And guess what they didn't do? They weren't really, really careful how they did it. They could have saved themselves the trouble if they would have tweaked that ending around and not done what they did. And they didn't. They didn't. It was all about revenge and vengeance and stupid crap that you saved this girl's life. So because you saved this girl's life, you are going to be shredded in the next. I know. I'm just done with all of their crap. They made a huge mistake. They never wanted to own up to it, and that's part of the problem culture. It's not just that they made the mistake. It's that they made the mistake and then went up on ghoul to you, the fans that have a problem with it. We don't care what you think. We don't care that you're upset. We don't care that you think we made a mistake. Uh, Eat it. That's the problem, and that's the attitude. That's the Alyssa Mercantes, the Neil Druckmanns. All of it
it's all
it's
the
that attitude.
it's all the entitled neo-Marxists that think they can come in and change the world. And the problem is the world functions in a way, and it's not the way that you want it to, and it'll never acquiesce to your desires, especially for, well, as somebody has said here, unpopular people like Neil Druckmann. The adaptation by HBO, that's one thing, right? And I am interested in seeing if that goes down the same pathway with Joel's character. If it does, well, it'll be interesting watching Pedro Pascal get his head smashed. That might be fun to watch. But as the character, maybe not as much fun, because I liked the character of Joel and I did not like the
Yeah.
character of Abby. And there is no way for that person to exist in the world, that world. It didn't make narrative sense, it didn't make story sense, and it didn't make financial sense. And that game financially did not do well. So the
Now they're putting
HBO
all their cards in this.
Intergalactic, baby. This is it. This is the game, kids. If you hadn't seen the character for
Oh,
intergalactic planetary intergalactic. If you hadn't seen this, the heretic, here it is, the heretic prophet. It is bad. This was
wrapped
announced.
in anonymity like a warm blanket.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna just tell you, it was announced at the 2024 Game Awards. The title's been in development since 2020. The story behind it is this person being stranded on a planet in pursuit and rescue of colleagues, one in particular, and essentially making a decision about how to Holocaust and genocide this world that they are brought to. The story on this is terrible. It will be as divisive as Last of Us 2, and there is no upside here. Having seen not just clips of this, but I have the entire story somewhere now. I'm I'm telling you, this is going to be very bad.
Who wants to
So
play this? Who's excited? Is anybody out there in chat? Let us know if you're excited because honestly, I don't see who could be like super excited to play this besides the blue haired. Yeah.
yeah, it's very bad. This doubles downs on everything that we hated about The Last of Us 2. So, you know, this game is going to make like $6. It's not even visually good looking, you know. It's it's the intentionally ugly looking, just like all the characters in it. I'm not kidding. They are working overtime on uglifying things. But you still like the aesthetic quality, the beauty, right? But Bethesda even did their level best with their game engines and their terrible art team to make things look pretty at least. And then, of course, obviously the modders could come along and fix that. But they are trying not to allow for that. Anyway, the real question is, and this is a great sub headline here from Marvin, why is there no Last of Us Part 3? They don't have a storyteller anymore. They have propagandists. They have activists. I don't know. What do you think, Loki?
No, I agree. They don't. There's no creativity here. All they've done for the past 6 or 7 years is sponge off of things that were already there and already created by other people that knew what they were doing. and they have spectacularly failed in their endeavor to try and do their own thing. Well, we want to do our own game, but we're gonna have it in this world, but we're gonna do it our way,
with
instead of the
existing
way it was
characters.
intended. Yeah, with
Yeah.
existing characters, and it's
So
just
we can,
trash.
we can tear it down. And that's the other problem. The answer to this question is simple. There's no money in it. There's no money in making part 3 because nobody's going to buy it, because part 2 destroyed it. It destroyed this silly remaster from last year. Nobody's going to want this garbage, and they're not going to want it.
How well did that Last of Us 2 remake sell?
Not at all.
Nobody cares. Nobody wants it.
Yeah. Anyway, this is a live story right now over on That Park Place. If you want to comment, please head on over, check it out. It's well worth the read. It's very well written, in depth, and Marvin did a good job. I'm
Marvin's
surprised
a good guy.
Yeah, he's really a good writer.